You're watching the SEC on ESPN. It's an SEC Saturday night in Norman, Oklahoma. For the 26th consecutive year, the Oklahoma Sooners ranked in the preseason top 25. It is time for college football. As tonight, Illinois State and the FCS in the Missouri Valley Conference makes their way inside Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, known more affectionately as the Palace on the Prairie. Good Saturday night and welcome back to college football. Alongside former All-Big Ten defensive lineman and 12-year NFL veteran Tyoka Jackson, I'm Richard Cross. This is what we've been waiting for. It's here.
Man, excitement's in the air, right? These guys have been hitting each other for about a month now. They get to hit the other team. We got a front row seat. Let's get excited.
So many storylines around this Oklahoma program in the offseason. Chief among them, a new quarterback and a new offensive coordinator. John Mateer set the world on fire at Washington State a year ago. Now he's the Sooners quarterback.
If SEC fans have not heard of John Mateer, don't be upset. He sat behind Cam Ward for 2 seasons and then burst on the scene in 2024. He's got a great release, can beat you from the pocket. He also can beat you on the move, but he can gash you by tucking and running. 44 total touchdowns, 15 of them on the ground.
Brent Venables is excited about this season. You see the numbers from John Mateer, a big part of this reason why. Nearly 4,000 yards of total offense with 44 touchdowns a season ago. The #1 transfer in the portal this past offseason. Brent Venables going into year number 4 here at the Palace. He's excited. 17th year that he's been on the Oklahoma coaching staff. And very, very optimistic about this team.
Well, he should be, because he's back calling the defensive signals. And there's no better defensive coordinator in the country than Brent Venables. Now, he is the head coach, and everybody knows it, but he is not from 30,000 square feet. He's back in the woods, and that's good for OK.
Now you're going to look at Brock Spack on the sideline for Illinois State. He is the winningest pro coach in program history. A year ago, led his Redbirds to the FCS playoff second-round game. Season came to an end out in Davis, California. Absolutely perfect. Madison Hawk is the third member of our crew. She's on the sideline. We'll check in with her in just a little while. Illinois State won the toss. They deferred. It's going to be Oklahoma football as we get the 2025 season underway. Jaden Ott will take it off the bounce. It goes into the end zone, and so Oklahoma will begin its first offensive possession at the 25-yard line. Glad to have you along on this Saturday night in Norman. So this is what the OU fans have been waiting for, the debut of John Mateer, the redshirt junior from Little Elm High School in Little Elm, Texas, a transfer from Washington State. He's on the Maxwell watch list, the Walter Camp watch list, the O'Brien watch list. He has been picked by some analysts as a potential Heisman Trophy candidate. And he'll be joined in the backfield by Javante Barnes on this first snap for the Oklahoma offense. New offensive coordinator. Guy calling the plays, Ben Arbuckle, who also was at Wazoo a year ago. Mateer to the air, complete. Gain of 4 on first down. Deion Burks on the reception. Second year at Oklahoma. He was injured a season ago, played in only 5 games.
I love the early call for Coach Arbuckle to get his quarterback really comfortable. Nice, safe throw. Don't throw it down the middle, high balls or whatever. Throw it to the outside, get him going easy.
Javante Barnes trying to get to the outside and a shoestring tackle. Patrick Bauer on the stop for Illinois State.
That's a sensational play by Bauer, coming inside out, showing some speed. Right now, Illinois State is adjusting to the speed of the Sooners, but it looks like Patrick Bauer is ready to play.
3rd down and 6 for OU in the middle of the Illinois State defense, a guy that we'll watch closely, Ty Niekamp, preseason All-American at the FCS level. His dad is the defensive coordinator. To the air, complete, but stopped short of the first down. How about that opening defensive possession for the Redbirds of Illinois State? That was Niekamp on the tackle.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want if you're the Redbirds defense. Play zone coverage, make the ball be thrown in front of you, and watch Niekamp break on it. Beautiful, short tackles, bring those arms. All young players bring those arms, and look at his buddies join the party.
Mason Kaplan came in to help finish it off. Eddie Casper back to receive the punt for Illinois State. Jacob Ulrich, the punter for Oklahoma, transfer from Kennesaw State. He is on the Ray Guy watch list. for the best punter in the country. 3 and out for the Oklahoma offense. Casper going to let this one hit. It takes a big Oklahoma roll inside the 20, inside the 15, all the way down to the 14-yard line. Big punt there for Ulrich. 54 yards with no return. Now it's Tommy Rittenhouse's turn, the senior from Geneva, Illinois, and St. Francis High School. He's a fifth-year senior. Redshirted his first year, had a broken collarbone. It was 2 years in where he realized he needed a mental reset, changed everything. The way he worked out, the way he studied, the way he practiced. A year ago, he led them to the second round of the FCS playoffs. Rittenhouse joined in the backfield by Winkers Wright, the senior from Floyd's Knob, Indiana. Off of his right hip, on the ground to start things off. And not much there. In fact, that's a loss of a yard on first down. Kobe McKenzie and Marvin Jones Jr. leading the way.
And so were the rest of his buddies right there with him. Listen, this is going to be an early test of this offensive line of the Redbirds. Can they at least get a stalemate? They cannot allow penetration and put this offense behind schedule. And also, the Redbirds usually go very fast. But, Richard, they're going to slow it down today. They cannot unprotect their defense by going fast, 3 and out, and keep them exposed.
A little bit of history for this OU defense. Cortland Guillory, the freshman from Houston, Texas, drew the start in this game. Just the second true freshman to ever start at quarterback for Oklahoma. This pass is complete out to the 15 for a gain of a couple. Javon Charles there to make the tackle.
Great job by the Oklahoma defense, playing zone coverage. That's what you want in that situation. Drop in the zone. It's okay if you get the underneath throw, but come in and rally with short tackling. So both defenses get off to a great start. 3rd and long, you got to be very careful if you're Tommy Rittenhouse. Do not put this ball at risk in this area of the field.
You try to get him on the move outside the pocket?
I would, because this pass rush, they got 4 guys that can rush. They don't need to blitz. Talking about Oklahoma, they got 4 guys can beat one-on-ones. You got to protect this quarterback.
Bottom of your screen on the end of the defensive line. Watch number 32, R. Mason Thomas, 10.5 career sacks. He had a breakout season a year ago. But flags before the snap and a delay of game on Illinois State.
Before the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Mark Curls leads this SEC officiating crew tonight, the referee in the white hat.
This is a different atmosphere than the Redbirds are used to. This crowd is going to be a part of the game.
Opened their season a year ago at Iowa. So they got the Big Ten treatment in Kinnick Stadium. They're getting the SEC treatment on this Saturday night in Norman, Oklahoma. 3rd and long on the ground. It's Winkers Wright out across the 20 to the 25 to the 30. And that's enough for an Illinois State first down.
Wow, great run. You know, Tony Peterson, the Redbird offensive coordinator, said, hey, we might run it when they think we're going to throw it. We're going to be smart with this football. And that's exactly what happened here. Oklahoma was in pass rush mode, opened up running lanes, and Winkers Wright can run the football. There's no question about it.
Gain of 24 on the carry out to the 35-yard line. So the first down of this game belongs to the Redbirds. You see Wright, 1,000-yard rusher a season ago, over 1,100 yards. And they go back to Winkers Wright. He tries to get to the left side. He's brought down by one of those big men along the defensive front, Jaden Jackson, the sophomore out of Indianapolis, Indiana.
We talked about Wright going over 1,000 yards last year. He was the first back since 2019 to do so. Again, so he is a terrific back. Show me some vision there. 3 yards is good enough on first down. Just stay on schedule. Make sure you're not putting yourself behind the 8 ball. Now you can call anything you want at 2nd and 7, much better than 2nd and 13.
Empty backfield this time for Tommy Rittenhouse.
Ball's got to come out quick here.
See Oklahoma stacked on the left side of that defensive line. Rittenhouse pressure, didn't see it coming, pass incomplete. That was Peyton Bowen who was coming down hard for that strong safety spot.
So again, Tony Peterson told us we cannot hold the football. Tommy has got to see it and go. Watch him pat the football. So you can get away with this in the FCS with all due respect, but not against this front. See that pat right there? You got to let it go. Even if you throw it out of bounds, it's better than taking the hit.
Bowen untouched coming from the outside. They disguised the blitz.
Running get hit harder. I mean, again, you got to be smart. You want to protect the football.
3rd and 7. Rittenhouse with time over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for the tight end. That was Javon Charles, the intended receiver. Couldn't haul it in. Kip Lewis there on the tackle.
Yeah, again, breaking on the football. Nice job of being physical with those hands. Just because the receiver touches the football does not mean the play is over. You saw Lewis being physical and ending that ball on the ground. That's exactly what you want.
Hayden Butch is the punter for Illinois State. Sophomore out of Valdosta, Georgia. Averaged 41 yards per punt a season ago. Isaiah Satania, the Arkansas transfer, back to receive this punt. He stands at about the 17. Satania trying to get to the outside. He's got some room, and he's got wheels. Out across the 35, wrestled down at the 37-yard line. So 2 offensive possessions, a first down for Illinois State. No points here in Norman. Scoreless in Norman. 160th consecutive sellout at Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. As promised, the 3rd member of our broadcast crew. Here's Madison Hawk on the field.
Richard, nowhere else in the world I'd rather be than right here, right now, and that's exactly how Oklahoma's new offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, feels. Arbuckle has had a lot of success at each stop, but this stop finally feels like home for him and his wife, Lauren. They both grew up just 3 hours from Norman. He told me Lauren, his father-in-law, they're both diehard Sooners fans, so they had to have their first date here in Oklahoma. We're going to see him calling the plays on the sidelines as well.
That first date was in 2012. It was an Oklahoma-Notre Dame game here in Norman. It was tied at 13 with 9 minutes to play. Notre Dame scored 17 unanswered. They won that ball game. So Oklahoma lost, but Ben Arbuckle won.
No doubt. And they're going to put Match.com out of business with that. I'm telling you right now, fans, just come to OU game. You can find the love of your life.
Well, he's been winning ever since as well on the field, and Brent Venables raves about his new offensive coordinator and his new quarterback. Mateer unloads one deep down the middle of the field, incomplete. He overshot his intended receiver, Isaiah Satania III.
Well, see, this is the part of the game that OU fans want to see improvement. This offense last year only had 24 points a game, which was good for 97th in the nation. That's not good enough. That's not OU.
And it was 15th in the SEC. They were 16th a year ago in the SEC in passing yards per game. Third down play for the Oklahoma offense, trying to avoid back-to-back 3-and-outs to start this game. Mateer with time over the middle. That's complete. On the catch is Jaron Kanik, and he fumbled it at the end. Kanik, a converted linebacker. Really good hands. You saw him make the catch, pick up the first down, but Ty Niekamp involved.
Wow, what a return of events. Again, good throw, nice catch. Now watch the physicality, multiple hats on the football. I didn't see the number, but literally got a hat on the football. Let's see who that is.
Jack Dwyer, number
Beautiful.
34, came in, knocked it out, and a turnover forced by Illinois State. That was one of the keys that Illinois State talked about coming into this game. They had to win the turnover battle.
Unbelievable. Let's see if they can capitalize. Race down. Let's see if they go for a big play down the field on this one.
Rittenhouse on the keeper. He's got some space, and he can really run. Dives forward toward the 35-yard line. You know, the head coach, Brock Spack, said he's not very big. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he is a pain in the butt for opposing defensive coordinators.
Well, he's competitive. He's tough. He's not going to wilt. You talked about Kinnick Stadium. He accorded himself very well last year in that environment. He's not afraid of the moment. He's athletic. He's sort of just like John Mateer, just a little bit smaller, but he can run it as well. Averaged 6.2 a carry last season.
Moving pieces around. That's Dylan Lord, the wide receiver, moving into the slot at the top of your screen. And movement up front. It's a direct snap, and now it's blown dead as Victor Dawson was moving early on the play.
Yeah, false start for sure.
Before the snap, false start, number 5, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And Victor Dawson, not necessarily a guy that we thought was going to see a lot of playing time. We know about Winker's right. Illinois State excited to get Mason King back, but they're going to be very careful with him, kind of working him back in after an injury a year ago.
Yeah, that's depth. I mean, they've got a bunch of running backs who they trust, and regardless of what happens today, that is going to bode well for them as they move into conference play and beyond.
Jack McGarry is going out of the game. His helmet may have come off. Kind of took a shot in the head. So McGarry goes out of the game. You got a new center coming into the game. That's Braden Jellison.
Addressing that penalty, Brock Spack specifically said we cannot beat ourselves with penalties.
On the ground, it's Dawson. He's stacked up. First hit came from Kobe McKenzie, that middle linebacker.
Conservative play call, which I have no problem with. Again, you're trying to stay in control of this game. 2-gapping inside, and you got multiple backers run through. So what does that mean? When you see a gap as a linebacker, you take that gap. Don't stay back. This defense is a one-gap up-the-field defense, not just with their defensive line, but their linebackers get in the backfield as well.
Jack McGarry, the center, does come back into the ballgame. Victor Dawson stays in at tailback.
At some point, I want to see a hard play action to get those guys moving, see if you can get them downfield.
Rittenhouse quickly looking tunnel screen, and there was nothing there. Gentry Williams, the corner, came up and made the tackle on Daniel Sopkowitz.
Williams is a junior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I like the physicality from this secondary. All of these guys can tackle. I mean, we know corners are about covering. We get that. But I got respect for any of the corners that can tackle and willing to tackle. And both of these guys, the young freshman, Guillory and Williams, they will hit you.
Loss of 5 on that play.
How aggressive do you get here if you're the Redbirds?
3rd and 20 to the air. Pass complete and a tackle immediately. That was Guillory on the tackle. Cortland Guillory, the freshman. He played at Klein Oak High School. Talked about him being just the 2nd ever true freshman to start at corner. When we visited with the Oklahoma coaches, they are really excited about his future.
And they should be. I mean, he's got great length, and they say that the moment isn't too big for him. He hasn't acted like a freshman at any moment. He's just fitting right in with these upperclassmen. I'm just telling you, guys like that project very well down the line.
He had the big run early in the drive from Rittenhouse, but a penalty and then a 5-yard loss on a pass play. Fudge to punt it away. Oklahoma had a player coming on late. This one's going to hit inside the 5-yard line. It's going to be downed at the 6. A good punt and good coverage by Illinois State. 5:43 to go, quarter number 1. Still no score here in Norman.
Let me tell you, you know I like Notre Dame. I love them. Yeah. I love putting on that leprechaun.
Absolutely.
I look great in the orange.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look, yeah, you did it.
Not this week. Give it an Oklahoma head.
Oh, old school. Old school this week.
Shooter.
Come ready. I'm telling you, man. Oh, God. That is really...
It was the second shot that got him. The second one was the loud one. He had that Sooner schooner hat on. Lee Corso, a brilliant career, came to an end earlier today in Columbus, Ohio, when he donned the headgear for the very last time and picked correctly when he put Brutus the Buckeyes hat on. A man that has lived college football for half a century. Did he haul that in? What a catch! Nakuba in coverage. Deion Burke said one hand is enough.
What a pass. Now, I like going fast here. Don't give the officials a chance to look at it. Snap the football and it's good.
Right back to the line. Mateer back to the air. This time it's Keontez Lewis on the catch. He's wrestled out of bounds at the 48. That's the first 2 first downs of the game for OU.
Listen, the coverage is really good. And Kuba is right there. But sometimes the throw and the catch is perfect. You're trying to force perfection, and folks, you just saw perfection. Wow.
So Oklahoma in business near midfield after going 3 and out on their first 2 offensive possessions. Mateer keeps it. This is part of his game that people don't talk about as much. A year ago, John Mateer carried the ball 178 times for 826 yards. He found the end zone 15 times as a quarterback.
Yeah, deceptively quick with it. And what I like about him is the ball security. As often as he runs the football, he doesn't lay it on the ground.
Mateer looking to throw, wasn't there. Plants his foot, now tries to get upfield. Scrambles his way down to the 42-yard line. Very close, should be enough for another first down.
This is what we talked about in the open. He's a triple threat guy. He can throw it from the pocket, he can run the football, and he can also extend. This puts a lot of stress on the defense, and if all else fails, tuck it, make people miss, get upfield, positive yards. Man, he's a good football player.
Mateer, great a year ago at forcing missed tackles, best in all of FBS. On the carry that time, Javante Barnes works his way down to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, outside zone was that play, and when you got that zone block and you got offensive linemen all moving together in one direction, if your back has vision, there will be cutback lanes, and Barnes exploited one there.
2nd and 4 coming up after a gain of 6 on the carry for the senior from Las Vegas, Javante Barnes. Now you've got Barnes and the freshman Torrey Black in the game, pair of running backs. Across the middle in traffic, that's going to be short of the first down and is going to bring up 3rd down and short. Tioka, one of the things that Oklahoma talked to us about was leadership with John Mateer and how that developed quickly when he got on campus.
Yeah, he's an outstanding leader. He was voted a captain, had only been there since January. Now think about that. His teammates voted him as a captain, only being there in a few months. And that's really hard to do, but it speaks to the type of man he is. He understands that football is a people business, and he came in and got with his people. Now he's a captain.
3rd down and a couple. On the ground across the 30, that's enough for a first down. John Mateer wasn't sure where to go when they started drills. Madison Hawks, his teammates told him where to go.
Yeah, when he arrived on campus, he went to the back of the line of workout drills, and then his teammates quickly pushed him to the front of the line and said, hey, you're our QB1 now. You are our leader. He said he was so thankful that he instantly had their respect. It wasn't the coaching staff that told him to get to the front. It was his teammates, and he told me that just meant so much to him, but his key leadership method is to lead by example.
Todd Bates, the co-defensive coordinator, told us he saw that happen and still gets chill bumps thinking about the way that it unfolded. Satania on the catch, short gain there. And you saw with John Mateer on the front of that left shoulder, that captain's patch. And that says something when you've got a transfer that comes in and earns that honor.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this right now. He's a 500-pound squatter, okay? So what does that mean? When you got a quarterback who comes in the weight room and works his butt off, that inspires teammates. That makes them respect. A lot of quarterbacks don't touch the weight room very much. John Mateer is not one of those guys.
Play action. Mateer over the middle, wide open. That's caught inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line. Jacob Jordan, the sophomore from Southlake, Texas. Carroll High School, the powerhouse. It's Oklahoma in business.
And you were starting to get in rhythm offensively, looking very good right now.
Whistles before the play, movement up front. The signal is false start.
False start. Number 9, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Richard, watch the eyes and the shoulders. Well, we're not going to see the quarterback here. That really good seam route, though, and it opened up late. Good ball over the middle. Great job of getting the ball out of his hands. He knows exactly where the ball needs to go. You don't see any hesitation because he's been in this offense now for 3 years.
Jacob Jordan, who made that catch, came into this program as a walk-on, had 27 catches a year ago. Second and goal from the 7. Mateer going to keep it. Trying to get to the outside. Mateer inside the 5. Mateer into the end zone for his first touchdown as a Sooner. Career rushing touchdown for John Mateer.
He's showing everything in his bag, folks. He's thrown it from the pocket. He's gotten rid of the ball quick. He's thrown on the move. And now you run a design quarterback sweep. That ball was supposed to hit inside. How about the vision to bounce outside with quickness and physicality at the goal line?
Tate Sandell on for the extra point. It is good, and Oklahoma leads it 7-0. Inside a minute to go in quarter number 1. Took a while to get points on the board, but finally Sooner fans something to cheer about.
He's a triple threat, folks. He can do it all. Tucking the football, ball security, and look at the speed to the corner, finishing through a tackle. 7-0 OU.
Ten plays, 94 yards, 5:04 off the clock, capped off by a John Mateer touchdown run, 7-0 OU in front of Illinois State. An Illinois State team that came into this year as preseason number 6 in the FCS polls. A year ago, 10-4, 6-2 in the Missouri Valley Conference. They were an FCS playoff team. Won on the road, 35-27 over Southeast Missouri State. Season came to an end at UC Davis, lost 42-10. Matt Lawson is the deep man to receive the kick for Illinois State. This one a fair catch called for at the goal line. So Tioka, a long drive for Oklahoma. 10 plays, took nearly 5 minutes.
They got into a rhythm, and a big part of it was the offensive line began to push around the Redbirds' defensive line. And when the offensive line can give time and open up lanes, you can call whatever you want. And obviously you got one of the very best play callers in all of college football in Ben Arbuckle, and you got a quarterback who's hot and comfortable.
And so now it's the offense's turn for Illinois State. Only 39 seconds to the end of the quarter. That's going to help. How important to get a first down or two, give that defense a chance to rest?
Very important. You mentioned 10 plays.
Rittenhouse to his right, dumps it off. That's complete. Out to the 30 for a gain of 5. Scotty Preston Jr., one of the tight ends in this group for ISU.
But to finish the point, you mentioned 10 plays in that last drive. It would be a recipe for early disaster if the Redbirds can't take time off the clock and string together some plays and get a first down or two, if nothing else, to get that defense a rest.
Illinois State more than happy to let the clock tick off and go to the sideline. They are a tempo team. And yet their offensive coordinator, Tony Peterson, said, we're going to huddle, we're going to slow it down on every single play. It's our best chance against this Oklahoma team. 15 minutes in the books, the season opener from Gaylord Family, Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. 7-0 in front of a sellout crowd in Norman. Sooners in front. We go to the second quarter in Norman, Oklahoma. Sooners in front of the Redbirds of Illinois State, 7-0. You see Brock Spack there on the sideline for the Redbirds, winning his coach in school history, now his 17th season. 6th in both of the FCS preseason polls. Picked to finish 4th in the Missouri Valley, a conference that Brock Spack and many others say is the SEC of the FCS. This is Winkers right on the carry. And that's enough for a first down.
Very impressive work from that offensive line. They're in 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 1 back, 3 wide receivers, spreading the defense out, which is what they like to do, and then find running lanes up inside. But that takes execution from the offensive line, and that was a beautiful job there.
6 times under Brock Spack, Illinois State has gone to the FCS playoffs. Started his career as a defensive backs coach at Purdue, went to Wyoming for a couple of years as defensive coordinator, came back to Purdue under Joe Tiller, was there until 2008. And in 2009 began this run as head coach of the Redbirds. A smart slide there by Rittenhouse. And that's one of the areas that they want him to be careful. So you don't have anything to prove. We need you on the field.
Yeah, no hero ball. It's unnecessary. Get what you can get and get down. They talked about that. This is the evolution of a quarterback with the amount of experience he has. He's adding that piece to the game. We know you're tough. We know you can run. Just be smart for the team.
Wright stays in at tailback. We've seen 2 different ones for Illinois State so far. Victor Dawson, Winkers Wright got the start. Rittenhouse to the air, a look-in pass, and that one is dropped by Sobkowitz, and that is rare. He was a 1,100-yard receiver a season ago, second team All-Missouri Valley twice already in his career.
NFL scouts like his size and his ability to go up and get the football. That time, he just can't miss the layup. I mean, this is the type of game where plays like that become magnified. You run a slant, it's open, the ball's on time and on target, and you drop it.
80 catches a year ago for Sobkowitz, who's lined up at the bottom of your screen. Rittenhouse out quickly, goes right back to Sobkowitz. A flag comes in. The catch was short of the first down. We'll check the call.
Yeah, I think that's a PI, partner. I think you got grabbed to the back of the jersey.
Number 4, defense. The penalty is a first down at the spot of foul.
Sobkowitz is working against the freshman. Man coverage. He doesn't want to let him inside. Beautiful job of getting inside. Here comes the ball, and there's the grab from the back of the jersey. He'll learn. Talking about Cortland Guillory. You can't grab a jersey and pull it. That's easy for the striped shirts to see it. Get in there tight and be physical with your hands. If you're beat inside, finish the play with your hands on the football.
A couple of first downs on this drive for Illinois State. Approaching midfield from the 45 to the ground. This is Victor Dawson. Short gain there on first down.
You say short gain, and it was. That's because it was excellent reaction by number 10, Kip Lewis. See Victor Dawson again, another one of these backs. They're rolling in, keeping them fresh. That's very smart. Play a lot of guys early. A lot of times these FCS teams tend to wear down against the pressure of the FBS. If you've got multiple people that you trust, you need to play them and play them early.
Kip Lewis earned the nickname Pick Lewis a year ago. 2 pick 6 return for touchdown. 1 against Auburn, 1 against Alabama. Rittenhouse, pocket breaks down, trying to get away and throw it away. And, wow, that ball was incomplete. Had a Illinois State receiver that just flashed at the end, Javon Charles, and looked like he might have caught it. Rittenhouse, a good job, though, to avoid the sack.
Right. I mean, it's a nice job and a little dangerous to be thrown it that late. Here comes the blitz. Cross blitz, which was they like to do. And what, man, just how about running over the back and creating havoc? That's a nice job by Kobe McKenzie. Sometimes you want to make a guy look silly with a quick move, and other times you just run him flat over. That's exactly what McKenzie did, collapse in the pocket.
See the deliberate pace by Illinois State. Play clock down at 5, and perhaps a timeout taken. Or will be taken. They reset the play clock. Beg your pardon. 3rd and 9. Casper, the motion man. Rittenhouse over the middle. This one through the hands of Sobkowitz. Guillory in coverage.
So listen, Rittenhouse had some pre-snap information. On the motion, he knew it was man coverage, and he knew exactly where to go with the football. But against this defense, these receivers have got to be able to make the tough catch because they're not going to be running wide open against a strong secondary like OU's.
And an interesting matchup that we've seen Illinois State go to. They think they've got the advantage with Sopkowitz against the freshman Guillory, but Guillory holding his own.
No question. He's really tight there, but you got to squeeze the football. I mean, your quarterback is counting on you as a senior to make the play.
Last time, Hayden Futch was able to down it at the 6-yard line. It's the end-over-end kick. It's going to hit and roll. It's fielded by Satania. Makes a man miss. Satania across the 20, wrestled down at the 23-yard line. That's where the Oklahoma offense will go to work when we come back. Sooners in front, 7-zip. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Norman, Oklahoma for the season opener between the Oklahoma Sooners, ranked 18th in the country, and Illinois State. Next weekend, a triple header on the SEC Network. It started with Utah State and Texas A&M from Bryan College Station. Then it's South Florida in Gainesville. DJ Lagway and the Gators hoping to avoid the fate that we saw last night. We'll finish up the day on the SEC Network with ULM in Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama. 30 of the 8 games involving SEC teams next weekend.
Nice play by Jake Anderson. He's been getting off the top of the pile a lot.
How about 8 of 9 to start the game for John Mateer? Make it 9 of 10. Jaron Kanak, he holds on to the football this time. A big play for the tight end. The senior out of Hays, Kansas, who is a speedster. 10-3 in the 100-meter.
Get excited. Boomer Sooner folks, you got a big-time quarterback again.
73 yards on the pitch and catch. This one hopper.
And he skips one after I give him that love, right? Misses the easy throw, but makes the hard one. That's a beautiful ball. And lead them to grass. Don't lead me to defenders. Lead me to grass. We talked about it. He can do it from the pocket. He can do it on the move. And he can run the football. Whatever you want, he's got it.
By the way, I'm not a math major. I don't think the 73 yards is right. That's okay. It was a big play. Knocking on the door of the red zone. Back to the air. works. (13-0) Oklahoma in front.
We talked about the play count continuing to mount, and what I'm starting to see are some heavy legs from the Redbirds defense. Easy in cut, no defender to be found, and that's just like 7-on-7 in practice for John Mateer. He's just not going to miss that.
Extra point good. It's now 14-0. The Sooners taking control of this game.
He was excellent last year at WashU. Now he's got better people around him. His career is ascending, folks. 14-0 Sooners.
Oklahoma leads it by a couple of scores, 14-0 over Illinois State with 11:34 to go. Sooners went 3 and out on their first 2 drives. They put it in the end zone in their last 2.
Well, they're leaning on Mateer. OU fans, he's new to you, but he's not new to this. And what do I mean by this? He's been in the same system with the same coordinator for now 4 years. Redshirted one, right? Now he's playing, this is his 3rd year. So, you've got a confident, experienced quarterback who understands what's happening. He's leading this offense impeccably.
We're on the 6. Not going to get to the 20. Ball came out, it's scooped up. They spot it down, though, at the 18-yard line. Sooners fans, for a moment, thought they were about to get to celebrate another touchdown.
The ball came loose.
Reggie Powers, the 3rd, scooped it up and took it to the house, but a dead ball.
Covering up with 2 hands. And there's he's down there. Forearm down, elbow down, plays down.
Let's go downstairs and check in with Madison Hawks for more on Ben Arbuckle.
Yeah, that offensive scoring drive was sparked by Ben Arbuckle at the timeout before, just motivating his team, telling them to fight. Arbuckle told me that direct communication is why he wants to be on the sidelines coaching and not up in the coaching booth. The eye contact he can have with his players, reading if they're too high or too low, Arbuckle says is key to getting this offense working early.
Winker's right on the carry, made the first man miss and turned that into a 9-yard run on first down.
1,123 yards last year, 5.2 a carry, 11 touchdowns. I'm not surprised. He runs with vision, 6'1", 205, a little more powerful than his numbers show. But I like the vision and ability to cut back to open grass.
One of the players on this Illinois State team that had the opportunity to make a move to a Power 4 program decided that he wanted to stay put and finish what he had started going into his senior year.
Well, that says a lot about the culture they have with the Redbirds.
Out across the 30, another hard run and a first down for ISU.
So listen, it's 0 points on the board for OU defense, which is great. But I'm just telling you right now, Brett Venables is not going to be happy with how these backs are falling forward. Big-time defensive players, they knock the ball back. We've got Winker, Wrights, and other falling forward for extra yards, and that's not good.
Fresh set of downs from the 32 for Illinois State. Feels like a pretty important drive for the Redbirds. They've had some success offensively, but no points to show for it. Rittenhouse, quick throw to the sideline. Dylan Lord on the catch. Maddie, a little bit more on Brent Venables.
Yeah, Brent Venables told me he made the decision to call the defense because he understands that if the Sooners are going to be elite, it starts with having a great defense. And he really didn't want to put the pressure on anyone else but himself. It will, of course, be a collaborative effort. That's why he has a small desk in the defensive coach's room, because he wants to be a part of every single conversation. Guys, he also laughed and said, it's also because I'm pretty good at it. And that he is. He does have 3 national championships as a defensive coordinator.
One of the best in all of college football. He was the DC here in Oklahoma in 2000 when the Sooners won their last national championship, and then 2 of them at Clemson.
You know, I remember the late, great Kobe Bryant, when asked about does he trust his teammates. He said, of course I trust my teammates. They work hard, but you know what? I trust myself more. And I think that's what's going on here. He knows the best coordinator in college football is in the coach's room, so why not give his players every bit of that?
And interesting that both the man calling plays for the defense and the man calling plays for the offense, both on the sidelines, which is rare in this college football environment. 3rd and 7. Rittenhouse sets up the screen, and it's sniffed out beautifully. On the tackle, Kendall Daniels, the 5th-year senior from Beggs High School right here in Oklahoma. An Oklahoma State transfer.
Oh, man, they had this whole thing set up. The problem was one guy didn't go for the fake, and that's Kendall Daniels. He plays the cheetah position. What does that mean? You've got to be a hybrid linebacker, blitzer, safety type. Those are athletic guys playing that position, and Kendall Daniels made a heck of a play.
A lot of different names for that spot depending on the program that you play in. But a lot of times it's the most athletic guy on your defensive side. Got to be able to hit. And Daniels hit big. Satania from the 15. He's got some room. Satania to the outside. Flags come in. Satania across midfield. Knifes his way down to the 20-yard line, but I'm afraid that this one is coming back.
Yeah, Satania's going to be upset about that. That's unfortunate. That may be the hold or clip sprung him, but man, that was a beautiful return. He broke some tackles and showed some speed there, but all for naught.
Sometimes it's that hold that's
during the return. Illegal block in the back, number 16, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul, first down.
But sometimes you're really frustrated if you already passed him and you're like, you didn't have to do that. That one was probably significant. OU ball when we come back. It's the SEC on ESPN. Next weekend here in Norman, it's the Big Ten in the SEC. Michigan and Bryce Underwood, John Mateer and Oklahoma squaring off next Saturday night under the lights. How about this QB matchup? Bryce Underwood, the freshman, named the starter for the Wolverines coming into the year. Nothing young about John Mateer. Ty Niekamp. You see Underwood, the #1 overall prospect, longtime commitment to LSU. A very publicized change of mind to go to Michigan.
Big Money Bryce is what I call him.
Big Money Bryce feels like a pretty good nickname. And he'll be on a big stage next Saturday night. The day will begin with College Game Day here in Norman.
That time they emptied the backfield. And 9 times out of 10, when they do, the ball's got to come out quick. So the D-line should get their hands up and get their hands in the throwing lanes. But when executed perfectly, there's going to be room. They're going to play off coverage against these guys because of the speed of OU.
Gain of 16 there for Satania. Another complete pass. Mateer gain of 4 on first down. Deontez Lewis, a couple of catches so far.
So they're showing Michigan a little bit different look now. Now it's a ball-controlled passing attack. And Mateer is good at all of it. He can go deep, he can run it and all of that. Now you're seeing get the ball out of your hands, be efficient with timing.
2nd and 6 for OU. Mateer goes to the safety valve, far sideline. That's Burks again. He's pushed out of bounds short of the first down. Going to bring up a 3rd and short. Oklahoma has scored on its last 2 offensive possessions after a pair of 3-and-outs to start the game.
As soon as they're trying to go with tempo here, this is a big play now. If you're the Redbirds, you want to get off the field defensively.
That should be enough for a first down. The carry that time by Javante Barnes got it across the 45. They're actually going to spot him just shy of the first down marker.
Wouldn't shock me at all if they go here. This is just something else to work on and show a defense, something else to prepare next week if you're Michigan. But also you're trying to win this football game too, and in this area in the field, why not go for it?
Brock Spack told us that this is the deepest defensive line he's had in his 16 years, this into his 17th season. And that defensive line make a play here on 4th and less than a yard. They make a play, but it looked like enough for the first down.
Yeah, they got it. It was close. The Redbirds jumped into a bear front. Watch all the linemen covered by defensive line. Everybody's got one gap. The problem is they're not getting any push. More stalemated by the offensive line, and that favors the offense. You want to get penetration in that situation, knock them back, reestablish the line of scrimmage. You just couldn't do it right there.
Needed to get the ball to the 41-yard line. The football rests, or excuse me, the 46 rests just across the 46. Fresh set of downs for the Sooners. To the outside, this is Torrey Blaylock. Had a really good camp leading into the season. The freshman from Humble, Texas. He was a state sprint relay champion in the state of Texas.
And usually track guys aren't very tough. I'm just being honest. Watch him finish this run. That's toughness. That's why you can play big-time SEC football at the running back position, even though you're a track guy, because you're willing to lower your pads and hurt people.
I'm not sure Dad would have allowed him not to be tough. His father, Derek, a 7-year NFL veteran at the running back position. Look at Burks go. A first down for Oklahoma, close to the 30-yard line.
I like the idea of an establishing a running game because you know what Mateer can do. But showing different looks of getting the football in a rushing situation makes it so hard. If you are multiple in offense in terms of formations, but you can run it and throw it with great efficiency, defensively, there is nothing you can hang your hat on. And I want to see the Sooners continue to establish this offensive line and run the football.
Satania goes in motion. Sets up at the top of your screen. Mateer from the gun. Steps up in the pocket, nowhere to go. He is brought down on the play by Mason Kaplan, the senior from Peachtree Corners, Georgia.
Great coverage in the secondary. Mateer wants to get rid of this football. And then the pressure also. So he's speeding his look up, and that's just an effort rush by number 14, Kaplan. Watch him keep coming. Just keep coming. Don't give up. And you'll see this from the Redbirds. No matter what happens today, they're going to respect the game and play hard for 4 quarters. No question about that.
Closing in on the 3-minute mark here in the second quarter. Kanik in motion. Mateer to his right. Throws it all high and incomplete. Intended that time for Jermichael Carter.
Probably his first bad ball of the game. He had a wide open receiver hooking up in the flat area, hooked the curl area, and just missed him. Usually very accurate on the run and on the move.
Ball to 35. 3rd and 14 for Oklahoma, trying to make it 3 straight drives with points. Leading in this game 14-0. Mateer on the swing pass. It's Blaylock to the 30, to the 25, to the 20. Look at that burst down to the 18 for a first down.
Sometimes the play call is perfect versus the defense that's called. This time, Illinois State tried to bling a blitz off the corner. They got just a beautiful job of calling a swing pass with blockers downfield. Now you got man coverage, and if one guy can't get there, it's a big play.
Needed 14, got 16. Ball at the 19, in the red zone for OU.
Before the snap, false start, number 71 and 78, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Back to that swing pass. Timing is everything in life and in football. And I guess obviously Ben Arbuckle felt the blitz was coming. And look at the blocking downfield. You can't play wide receiver for OU if you're not willing to block. They got a bunch of guys who will stick their nose in.
Blaylock delivering the hit. You like that, don't you?
I do. I played a lot of football, and I've seen track guys try to come on the football field, and it usually doesn't bode well, especially at the running back position. They want to bounce outside. He's willing to stick his nose inside and run guys over.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout. 14-0 OU in front of Illinois State. It's the season opener in Norman. Oklahoma leading 14-0 and threatening to score once again before halftime. 2 minutes to go until the halftime break when the pride of Oklahoma will take the field. You can watch their halftime performance on the ESPN app. Maybe the biggest differentiator between college football and the NFL, the marching bands.
No doubt.
And they work. Who do they work to get ready for the start of the season? 2nd and 12. Latier with time. Over the middle. Delivers complete. Aaron Kanik, another catch for him. Started 10 games over the last 2 years at linebacker. In his career, 103 tackles, forced a couple of fumbles. Offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle said he's the coolest dude in the building. Friends with everyone, but when he steps on the football field, he flips the switch.
And make no mistake, playing linebacker helps him with that tight end position. He knows exactly how linebackers cover and where the voids are in the zones.
Blaylock in the backfield. It's Blaylock on the carry. Picks his way down to the 5-yard line. Gang tackle there.
I like this freshman now. He hasn't really busted loose yet. We talked about his top-end speed, but just the discipline to run up inside, the fearlessness, and then also the impact on contact. Just a freshman.
2nd and goal from the 5. Oklahoma trying to make it 3 straight possessions in which they get into the end zone. Inside a minute until the half. Blaylock into the end zone. Touchdown OU. Fireworks at the Palace. It's now 20-0. And how about the arrival of the freshman running back, Torrey Blaylock?
We talked about his willingness to run hard, but that time he showed me he's running hard up inside with his eyes open. Did you see that subtle cutback to find the hole and finish behind his pads? Man, I'm just enjoying it. We're witnesses right now. This kid's a teenager.
Extra point good from Jacob Ulrich. And with 51 seconds until the half, it's now 21-0 Oklahoma.
Just a basic dive play into the A-gap. And a lot of guys would have been content just running up inside and hitting whatever they hit. He showed that he can have his feet underneath him, be patient, and then explode through the hole with physicality. He's got it all, folks. Again, we haven't seen him bust loose on the corner. But if we do, not many people are going to be able to catch him, not just on this field. He's going to be one of the faster guys in the SEC.
Big day in college football. They got started with Texas and Oklahoma, a top 3 matchup in Columbus.
That was fun.
A lot of defense.
That's what I like. You know that.
I know you do. Ohio State with the win over Texas. Auburn out of the SEC going on the road last night, getting a win against Baylor.
And they did it with physicality. They ran the football. I like what I saw from Auburn. Tough football team, looks like to me.
Some eyebrows being raised around the country. 2 minutes to play in Tallahassee. Florida State off of that nightmare season a year ago. 31-17, leading it over Alabama.
I think you're trolling me right now because we talked about me thinking that Alabama might surprise some people. I mean, it's just one game, but I didn't see this one coming.
We were just talking.
I just told him myself, didn't I? I didn't have to do that, did I?
What a fascinating year, though, in the SEC. Most people have Georgia or had Georgia and Texas, and probably still do. It's kind of the top 2 teams in the SEC. Then you've got this big group. LSU. There are people that think LSU can win it all this year. Alabama, although a tough day for the Tide in Tallahassee.
Oklahoma.
You've got this Oklahoma team. You've got Texas A&M.
South Carolina.
South Carolina, who was right on the outside of the playoff discussion a year ago.
You know what? If
but
we
North
don't,
Sellers back.
That's right. If we don't say Tennessee, somebody down on that field is going to be upset with us.
Madison, Tennessee, perhaps in the mix. Impressive against Syracuse today. Ole Miss was a 9-3 team a year ago. On the ground, that is Victor Dawson on the carry, and Illinois State going to get the football to start the second half. Probably content to let this clock run out.
I think so, but I like this Dawson. 5'11", 220 pounds. He gives them a little different look with his physicality. Mason King is a 220. We haven't seen him yet. But, man, Victor doesn't look like a backup running back to me.
Mason King injured a year ago. He had just one carry for the entire season. It happened in the opener against Iowa. Hard run there by Dawson, and that probably will be the last play of this first half.
That should have been a TFL right there, but I like how Dawson finished that run off, bro.
292 yards of offense in the first half for Oklahoma, and that was after back-to-back 3-and-outs to start the game. 227 of that through the air for a team that a year ago was last in the SEC in passing yards per game.
Sputtered a little bit in the first two series, but ever since then, you saw an offense get into a rhythm.
Madison Hawks has Brent Venables on the field.
Coach, 3 straight scoring drives to end that first half. What do you make of the way your new quarterback, John Mateer, has managed this offense?
Yeah, he's made a lot of good decisions tonight. He's managing things really well. We got a great rhythm, run, pass. Guys made some really good plays, runs after the catch. The last one need to hold on to the ball there, but they bounced back. Great job by Kanik coming back and hitting the seam route.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks.
Brent Venables was optimistic going into this season. We asked him why. He said, people matter. This team is confident. They're competitive, and they're committed. And they've got a 21-point lead going into the locker room of the season opener in the debut for John Mateer.
Welcome into the SEC Halftime Report. Dari, Doring, and Watson. I want to run through the early part of the day. And, of course, we've been talking all offseason about that massive matchup. Arch Manning, the guy in Austin. No more Quinn Ewers. First road start ever at Ohio State. Lee Corso's final college game day. Picked the headgear he picked the first time he did a headgear pick. Ohio State up 7-0 early, guys. Arch Manning stuffed on the sneak on 4th and goal. Texas trying to get on the board. Arch can't hit Parker Livingston on 4th down.
Sorry, 2 red zone stops there for Ohio State's defense. Thwarted probably the 2 best drives that Texas had to that point in the game.
And then Arch to Livingstone, and they are on the board. Under 3.5 minutes to go. The touchdown pass for Arch, really his shining moment, it would seem, in this game. Arch, one more chance here. He finds Jack Endries. Good-looking throw there.
Yeah, way to hold on to the football.
30-yard gain, 4 plays later. Arch again. Somehow finds Endries, but he's tackled short of the line to gain, and Texas falls short. Nearly shut out, but they do get that late touchdown. 14-7. Ohio State gets the win against Texas. Arch Manning, you see his numbers, 170 yards and a touchdown. The majority of that came in the 4th quarter. We'll talk all about what the guys saw from him over the course of this day. Steve Sarkisian on his quarterback, Arch Manning, after the loss.
I always want him to play better. That's a job of a coach, right? And our job is to try to find ways for all of our guys to play better. And so for Arch, the expectations were out of control on the outside. But I'd say let's finish the book before we judge it, right? This is one chapter, and we got a long season to go play.
Ultimately, not good enough. Obviously, you don't want to start off the season 0-1. They're a good team, but I thought we beat ourselves a lot, and that starts with me, and I got to play better for us to win. Can't wait till the second half to kind of get things going. Took a whole half for us to kind of even get the ball down the field, so that starts with me. Got to get back to square one and get back Monday and go prepare for San Jose State.
You know, this is the first game of a season, of a long season, and I sat at SEC Media Days and said I think the days of a national champion being undefeated are over, especially when you play in games like this and you play in the conference we play in. So we've got an opportunity here over the next month to really clean some things up and to get ourselves in a great frame of mind to get ready for SEC play. I thought for the most part we handled this environment really well for a first game with a lot of new faces. I was proud of some guys who was their first time in real action, doing some good things for us. But we'll get better. We've got a good football team. That's a good football team we played today. We'll get better, and we'll be okay.
You know, when you're somebody that gets the love, the acclaim, the chatter that Arch Manning does, you're going to get credit when you win, and you're going to get blame when you don't. But it isn't just Arch, was it, on this day?
Yeah, it's part of the glory and, I guess, the defeat of playing quarterback. But you're right. I mean, there's enough blame to go around. This offense scored 0 points in the first half, only 79 yards of total offense. When you look at Arch, he wasn't able to complete the passes that were open. But when you look at this film, CD, you're going to see a team that allowed a lot of penetration on the offensive line. There was some missed blitz pickups. There were times where receivers didn't get separation. Even the route at the very end of the half where Arch had an opportunity to throw a touchdown, a better route there would have created more separation for his quarterback. And so while Arch is going to be the main topic of Twitter and of all of the things that we talk about, this offense didn't perform well. I look at that 15-play drive that ended in a stuffed goal line stand by the Ohio State defense. That was indicative to me of how they played offensively. Just not enough push, not enough oomph, not enough continuity to go on the road against a really good Ohio State defense.
I thought Sark made a good point. It's a very good team. On the other side, they're a good team. Very similar built rosters. A lot of departures from each, but a lot of talent that's back. And what did that game come down to when they played in the semifinal? It was explosive plays. It was execution in the red zone. I thought that Texas's defense did a great job today of limiting any big plays. In fact, the only big play that was over 20 yards for that Ohio State offense was the 40-yard Carnell Tate touchdown. So they make a play there. Texas didn't make as many plays, and then the red zone stops. You get down there 2 times and have 0 points to show for it. Those 2 things were the difference in the ballgame. But 2 very good teams with great defenses that battle back and forth. You know, the margin is very small when you're talking about those 2 types of talented teams.
We talk a lot about Ohio State, too. I realize this is not the Big Ten network. They already have that thing. But they lost so much defensively, especially up front. I was, for one, really impressed with what they were able to do against this Texas offense.
Well, I mean, you think about Ohio State and Caleb Downs. I mean, we didn't even really mention him that much, but he's arguably one of the best, if not the best player, along with Jeremiah Smith, in the nation. And so he's a guy that's a veteran. He's able to get the defense lined up. And again, Matt Patricia comes in. We were wondering how that was going to look for this college defense. I thought he mixed up the blitzes tremendously. I thought he had Arch Manning confused. They got enough penetration and got in Arch Manning's face and roughed him up enough to where there were several times where Arch had an opportunity to hit open wide receivers, and he was off target, I believe, 11 times of open wide receivers. And CD, these weren't plays that were way downfield. Yeah. A lot of times there were plays that were 5, 6, 7 yards, under 10 yards. He was just not able to hit those guys because Matt Patricia, I think, called a fantastic game defensively.
Manning, off-target percentage of 37%, worst by a Texas quarterback in a single game over the last 10 seasons. Pretty telling stat. All right, 14-7, Ohio State gets the win against Texas. A lot of people looked at this game in Atlanta and said, look out, Tennessee. Didn't know much about Joey Aguilar, the new starter. Coming over from a couple months at UCLA, previous 2 seasons at Appalachian State, but he can scoot a little bit against the Orange.
I will tell you what, man, I was not expecting a ton from him today. He impressed the hell out of me. But what is this team built on under Josh Heupel? It's being able to run the football and play great defense, 2 things that they did really well today.
Peyton Lewis slams his way to the end zone there, and then Aguilar. Did he make that look easy, or did he make that look easy?
He showed tremendous touch on the football, but this is something that Joey had done. When you look at the film of him playing at App State, he throws a tremendous deep ball. You're right. We didn't know what to expect in this game, but he did a good job. And the receiver, CD, made some plays. And running backs, how about this uncovering by Star Thomas?
How about the presence, though? He went through his progressions. The offensive line did a great job of giving him time. He stepped up and made a great throw to his running back out of the backfield.
Then he finds Miles Kinselman for the touchdown, does Aguilar. 16 of 28, 247, threw for 3 touchdowns.
Sorry, what's the important number there?
I'm looking.
We've been talking about the last 2 nights, quarterbacks.
No interceptions.
That's
0.
exactly right.
Yeah, it's a number that's not even there because it didn't exist.
Did not put his team in bad situations, did what he was asked, and let the people around him make plays.
45-26. Well done, Tennessee. What a good way to start their season. How about Mississippi State? Again, a lot of people down on them going into Hattiesburg to face Southern Mississippi. Blake Shapen only played 4 games a year ago, got hurt. Shapen comes out. He's got a guy wide open, and that's Seydou Traore, 57 yards for the touchdown.
The tight end, by the way.
Englishman.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
From the UK.
Yeah.
Think you're getting fish and chips on the way home?
Would you like to call this one here? Who ran that in?
Was that Fluff Bothwell?
That's exactly right. Fluff Bothwell,
That's tough to
6
say.
yards. And then Devon Booth in for 6.
Hey, 17 points allowed by the defense that was miserable last year. Getting better.
That's a good start to the season for those Bulldogs. Another upset pick by many. Kentucky facing this is the MAC favorite with a lot of experience. That's Toledo. They got AP votes, folks. But Tucker Gleason picked up by J.Q. Hardaway. So Big Blue gets the turnover, and after that, Zach Calzada just had his 39th birthday. Happy birthday, 7-0 Wildcats. Not really. He didn't really have it. 39. Dante Dowdell. Dowdell!
Where's he from,
79. Dante Dowdell. Nebraska?
Nebraska.
Hey, there we go.
Pounded away in the second half. Leaned on that offensive line. I like it.
220 yards rushing.
You know what's beautiful about this graphic right here? What are that 4 little words that you see there?
There's no time.
We're not committing to a time.
We're not committing.
Yeah.
Because the show will air tonight after the games.
We promise.
Whenever the games are over, we got you. SEC football final #1 for the year.
Our halftime score at Gaylord Family Memorial Oklahoma Stadium. I think I messed that up. 21-0. The Sooners are in front of Illinois State. A big day to start college football. We bounce around the SEC. First game of the day that had all the eyes on it. Number 1, Texas going to the Horseshoe in Columbus. It was Ohio State 14-7. A defensive battle between those two teams. Not the debut to the season that Arch Manning and the Longhorns were hoping for. Alabama in, at times, a rainstorm in Tallahassee. It was number 8 Alabama, unranked Florida State, but the Seminoles with a massive statement win on the opening Saturday of the season, a 2-score win. And we rewind. Last night in Waco, Auburn, a team with question marks and plenty of pressure. Well, they answered a bunch of questions last night. A 14-point win on the road against the Baylor Bears. Auburn, a good start to the year with former Oklahoma quarterback Jackson Arnold leading the way for the Auburn Tigers. Second half action is just around the corner. We'll take a look at some of the numbers from the first half when we come back to Norman. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Halftime score in Norman, Oklahoma, 21-0. The 18th-ranked Sooners leading it over the Illinois State Redbirds out of the Missouri Family Conference. Back at the Palace on the Prairie, another sellout tonight alongside Tyoka Jackson. I'm Richard Cross. Madison Hawk is on the field. A dominant performance in the first half for Oklahoma, but it took a little while to get going.
It did, and I'm not shocked by it. It's still the first game for everybody, right? They breaking in some new guys in the front, new center, new guard. I mean, this thing is going to happen. 2 series is all it took, though, and they leaned on their quarterback to get this offense in a rhythm, and he responded hugely.
John Mateer starting on that third drive, got the Sooners going on multiple occasions. You called him a triple threat.
Yeah, and it's because I watched the tape, and the tape showed everything that you're seeing right now. And you would think, well, okay, listen, that was at Washington State. Can he do that with Oklahoma and the SEC? We're not in the SEC yet, But yes, the answer is yes. When you play with better players, it makes your job easier. I expect him to do exactly what you're seeing now. Maybe won't be quite as easy, but he's going to give you an entire bag, throwing it from the pocket, on the move, and tucking and running.
And again, for an offense that was at the bottom of the SEC a year ago, 292 first-half yards, 227 through the air. It's a different look. You see the 13 first downs in the first half for OU. Sooners lead at 21-0 over Illinois State. Coming up next, we've got the second half of the season opener. Oklahoma trying to start the season off with a win at home against Illinois State. Second half coming up next. 227 yards through the air for John Mateer on 15 of 18, one on the ground, one through the air in terms of scoring. Illinois State won the toss to start the ball game. They deferred to the second half, and so they will get the ball first to begin this third quarter. Second half underway. Matt Lawson from the three, he called from a fair catch, so Illinois State will start at the 25-yard line. At the half, Brock Spack visited with Madison Hawk.
Yeah, and Spack told me really it's simple. Right now the Redbirds are beating themselves. He said they're just a block away from having long, explosive runs. He thinks the passing game has to get better. Rittenhouse, though, his quarterback, he said he's doing a good job controlling the offense. Defensively, though, he said they have to tackle better, especially in the secondary. Take better angles and be more explosive at the line of scrimmage. Chioka was one of your keys to the game. The Redbirds have to win the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what Brock Spack just told me at the half.
Yeah, and this is tough. I mean, they've got, talking about Oklahoma, one of the best defensive lines in the conference. They're deep, they're athletic, and they're very aggressive.
The passing game has been virtually non-existent for Illinois State. Rittenhouse 5 of 11 for 12 yards. That's going to help right there. A 10-yard completion on first down and another first down for the Redbirds.
I like how they got Rittenhouse on the move. Get him away from that pressure. Get him away from that aggressive defensive line. First of all, if it starts with a hard play action, and we talked about that in the first half, give him that hard play action because these linebackers react quick, and that will open up throwing lanes.
Winkers Wright, the leading rusher in the first half, 6 carries for 48 yards, including a 24-yard run. Rittenhouse, the senior from Geneva, Illinois. 5th-year senior, 2nd year as the full-time starter. On the ground, it's Victor Dawson with a burst up the middle. That's another first down, so 2 plays. A 10-yard play and now a 13-yard gain on the ground.
As good as this offense of OU has been, this has been slightly disappointing, maybe more than slightly disappointing if you're a Sooner fan. Defensively, they're giving up some runs. They're getting gashed down the middle sometimes, and then 6.3 they gave up in the first half. 83 yards, 6.3 average. That is not good enough for Brent Venables defense.
And you know the team that is coming in here next Saturday, the Michigan Wolverines, wants to run the ball downhill. Play action this time. Rittenhouse in trouble, and he throws it away.
I'm not sure he was out of that pocket.
Quarterback was outside the tackle box, threw the pass beyond the line of scrimmage. Therefore, there is no foul for intentional grounding. Second down.
Pressure that time by Taylor Wine, the defensive end for Oklahoma.
And let's see if he gets outside of that tackle box. And he did. Yeah, and it was close, but he barely got out of it. He took a shot. Now, here's the toughness of this guy, though.
Mark Curls reminded you of those 2 elements. Rittenhouse still hurting.
Yeah, and they love this quarterback, his toughness. For him to be on one knee, and there's some real pain going on because you just don't see it.
Beckham Pellant is the backup for Illinois State. We're going to see him after the timeout as the training staff attends to Tommy Rittenhouse. Tommy Rittenhouse able to get rid of the football, but he took a shot from Taylor Wine.
Watch that right elbow, that throwing arm. It's going to hit the ground first, and that's smarts. That's driving something up into something else, and that's the throwing arm. I'm just hoping that he can shake that off and come out of that tent.
Right arm was a little limp as he was jogging off the field. He was trying to kind of rotate his arm. Coming out, throwing, and complete on first down. That's Beckham Pellet, the backup redshirt freshman from Chandler, Arizona, Hamilton High School. Played sparingly a year ago. 2 of 2 throwing the football.
Redshirt freshman threw that with some confidence.
He did.
And speaking of confidence, how about the call to have him come off the bench? Slinging it by Tony Peterson.
3rd down and 8 coming up here. Beckham Pellet, a legacy at Illinois State. His grandfather, Bob Hawkins, played football for the Redbirds. Victor Dawson in the backfield.
5 rushes coming.
Crashing down and making the tackle, Owen Heineke, the Will linebacker. Had just 7 tackles a year ago, but the redshirt junior, he was in the right spot there, the transfer from Ohio State.
Yeah, and again, watch him play downhill. He's not going to sit and wait. That's the way they teach it here. You see space, you go get space. Eat it up, eat up the ball carrier while you're at it, and trample that run on the way to the quarterback.
Isaiah Satania III, standing back around the 10-yard line, waiting on the punt from Hayden Futch. Satania has been close a couple of times to breaking one. This is a spiral that's going to be fielded at the 12 with no return. Good coverage down the field. So Oklahoma with their first possession of the second half coming up. We'll get our first second half look at John Mateer. And first half about as good as you could draw it up. 15 of 18, 227 yards and a touchdown and a rushing touchdown.
And of those 3 incompletions, I only recall 1 bad ball. 1 flat-out miss. So, I mean, he's red hot.
Offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle, I think this was affectionate when he said it, that John Mateer's a meathead. He said he's a football player first, a quarterback second. It's almost like he's a linebacker that throws it and runs it well.
Yeah, that was a compliment.
It was.
when you call me a meathead, I get a little upset. But for a quarterback, that's a compliment. He is a regular guy. He's one of the guys.
This is Blaylock. Flags come in. Carry was enough for a first down, but we'll have to check the marker.
How about the freshman starting the second half? Why not? I mean, they got to be loving the way he's running. I'm so impressed with it.
Holding, number 12, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay second down.
That's Jared Canick calling for the hold. Blaylock, the freshman out of Humble, Texas. Atascosa High School.
He's shown us a little bit of different things in his bag as well. He's caught the football. We've seen him run up inside with toughness. We've seen him cut it back on zone reads. We've seen him run with his eyes open, make people miss in the hole. He's got it all.
Mateer on the slant. Caught at the 15. Couple of tackles broken by Dion Burks, and he's finally going to be corralled and dropped at the 15-yard line, and that will bring up third down.
This is what Coach Brock Spack was talking about. He wanted to tackle better. And that's easier said than done when you got receivers who refuse to go down. He's fighting for every yard. But now what I will say is the Redbirds continue to fight. You see multiple hats on the ball, not just one tackler.
3rd and 7 coming up. You remember to start the game on the first 2 offensive possessions, Illinois State's defense was able to force 3 and outs, trying to do so to start the second half as well. Mateer flushed. And he's being brought down around the knees as he let that one go. Patrick Bauer with the pressure, and indeed the Redbird defense does force a 3 and out.
And that's how you come out of the locker room for the second half. They showed pressure, backed out of it, was able to win one-on-ones up front. Linebackers backed out. He comes late pressure, and now keeping contained. A lot of times, Mateer can turn that corner and wreak havoc running down the football, but that was just excellent effort by Patrick Bauer to not let him get to the corner and force an errant throw.
Eddie Casper back to return the punt. By the way, for all the good people at Humble, Texas, I know I mispronounced that high school, but I'm not even going to try it again. You have my apologies. Casper with some room. Short punt. The return is across midfield, and so Illinois State will begin their second possession of the third quarter in plus territory, trailing 21-0. Saturday night right here in Norman, Oklahoma. It's a matchup of Titans, Michigan, and Oklahoma. Michigan, the winningest team in college football history with 1,012, 950 for Oklahoma. That's number 6 all-time. Combined 19 national titles and 10 Heisman Trophy winners.
They will come in and challenge this Sooner front seven. They are looking to bludgeon people.
How about only the second meeting ever between Oklahoma and Michigan? From midfield to the air, it is still Beckham Pellant in the game. You see Tommy Rittenhouse on the sideline. Let's go downstairs, check in with Madison Hawks for an update.
Yeah, Rittenhouse was being attended by the Redbirds medical staff in the tent. It wasn't for long, though, guys. He came out holding that right arm. He put his helmet on, though, took a few throws, and gave his coaches a thumbs up, saying he's good to go. So we'll see when he gets back into this game.
Think of this. Last year, he played with a bilateral sports hernia. And if you know anything about sports hernias and what that does to your midsection, your core, everything you do is painful. And he played the whole year with it, got to take care of it in the offseason. But I'm just telling you right now, toughness is not a problem for that guy.
He got the surgery done in Philadelphia a little bit before the start of spring practice. He actually went to Brock Spack and said, let me go through spring practice and then get it done. And Coach Spack said, no, you're going to go get this fixed, so you got plenty of time to get well. We need you for the season. And so Beckham Pellant got basically every single snap at the quarterback spot in spring ball.
And he's going to lean on that experience right now in a hostile environment. 3rd and long. Let's see how the kid does.
Second best starting field position of the night for Illinois State. They began at midfield. They had the other drive that began at the 41 after the fumble recovery. Pellant has it batted down at the line. And the Oklahoma defense stands tall to force a 3-and-out.
He's only 6 feet tall, so the launch point is going to be lower. Watch him get depth in his drops. You want to see him get a little bit more depth just to get the angle right, but the ball has to come out quick because he's doing it from empty. It's just a great job defensively by Thomas to get his hands up.
And that was R. Mason Thomas, the senior from Fort Lauderdale. Had 9 sacks and 12.5 tackles for loss a year ago. A couple of fumble recoveries, including for a touchdown against LSU last year. This punt's going to hit at the 10, rolls inside the 5, and it's going to come to a stop there. Wish I could get a gap wedge to do that.
He just keeps on rolling and rolling.
More times than not. So this Oklahoma possession will begin at the 4. Night slate of games is underway now, including a massive matchup in the Battle of Death Valleys. LSU on the road against Clemson. A lot of folks really like this Clemson team out of the ACC. Some predictions of them perhaps winning it all this year.
Oh, Dabo finally dipped into the portal.
A little bit.
Just a dabble. By Dabo. You see what I did there?
I see what you did there. Once again, it's Blaylock in the backfield, and I think we probably shouldn't be surprised. Sometimes when you talk to coaches, you've got to read between the lines a little bit. This Oklahoma coaching staff raved about the camp that Torrey Blaylock had leading into this season, and they let us know that he was ready to go. Jack Dwyer and LaShavian Brown combining on the tackle, and an Illinois State player is down. That's Ty Niekamp. And that is not good news for Illinois State. You have an injury to your quarterback, and now Niekamp down, and now Blaylock going off the field and being helped by trainers as well.
Both of those guys are going to be counted on for both of these teams, so that's unfortunate to see that happening.
With the timeout on the field, we'll take one as well. Oklahoma in front, 21-0. couple of injuries on this play. First, you got Ty Niekamp. See there on the left side of your screen, he knifes in, and looks like a little friendly fire at the end of that. And then Blaylock was helped off the field into the injury tent. As Javonte Barnes is back in running the football for Oklahoma. You see Niekamp there. Great story. Ty Niekamp, 112 tackles a year ago, 11 for loss. 12 passes defended. He is the son of the defensive coordinator, Travis Niekamp. You get a look at him there in the box. Great visit with Travis earlier this week, and he said, this is the time of the year where I'm coach, not dad. Xavier Robinson into the game for the first time tonight for Oklahoma. He is the tailback as Mateer looks to throw. He throws, and that pass is intercepted. Shadwell Nakuba II, the transfer from Louisiana, stepped in on a throw that was a little bit behind the intended receiver.
And you wonder if that was on purpose to lead him away from the defender. You got to ask yourself, did the receiver drift away? Watch him turn. And see, he's leading him away from number 0 because he knew that he'd be able to make a play on the ball. That's Jamarcus Smith coming from the inside and just led him a little too far.
This is Coach Niekamp, stoic in his reaction in the booth, but a turnover and the best field position of the night for Illinois State.
How about the catch by the defender, though? Outside his body, had to lay out.
So Pellet stays in the game at quarterback for the Redbirds. Victor Dawson is the back. From inside the 25, they give it to Dawson, and there's just no room. Owen Heineke on the tackle.
We talked about what will Illinois State do when they have opportunities like this, when they come up with some kind of trick play, something to try to catch OU sleeping or maybe lacking some eye discipline. This might be a good opportunity right now. You're in field goal range. Let's see if they come up with something tricky.
The interception, really the first blemish on the stat sheet tonight for John Mateer. 2nd and 9. Pellet. And he's going to lose yards, maybe get back to the line of scrimmage.
Tough situation for the redshirt freshman. As you see, not quite the athlete that Mateer is. I like the idea of his first read not being there. He doesn't hold the football like so many quarterbacks does. He puts his head down, finds it, and gets as much as he can get and avoid the catastrophe.
3rd down and 10. Lost a yard on the play. Just one 3rd down conversion tonight for the Redbirds.
That's where you like to see the freshmen be smart and understand we got to protect the football because you can get 3.
Pellet flips it to the outside. That's Dawson on the catch and run. Omasigo shoved him out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So that's 4 yards short. 4th down and 4 coming up. And the field goal unit comes on to the team, led by the kicker, Matt Maldonado.
I like the play called by Tony Peterson because you're trying to avoid the catastrophe. You're not trying to kill the confidence of your offensive ball club. Simple play, get as many yards as you can, and let's see if we can get 3 on the board.
Maldonado at Murray State for the last 3 seasons. This a 33-yard try. It's a low knuckleball, but it is through the uprights, and Illinois State is on the board. It's now 21-3 with 6:26 remaining in the 3rd quarter, so points off the turnover.
Yeah, and that's good complementary football. Like you said, the points off the turnovers. You make a play defensively. The number one thing you have to do on offense is change the scoreboard. Obviously, they want the big number, but they'll take 3.
John Mateer, the latest in a line of significant transfer quarterbacks at Oklahoma. You can go back to the 2000 National Championship team. Josh Heupel made the move in from Snow College. Baker Mayfield was at Texas Tech, won a Heisman. Kyler Murray, Texas A&M, won a Heisman. Jalen Hurts, Alabama, finished 2nd in the Heisman voting. He just happened to be playing in maybe the most prolific season for a quarterback in college football history when Joe Burrow and LSU went undefeated and won the national championship.
Yeah, but he got the big ring before Joe, so I'm sure he's getting over it, right?
Super Bowl champion quarterback Jalen Hurts. What a great story. Hurts losing that job to Tua Tagovailoa at Alabama, stayed on, ultimate teammate, came back to the SEC championship game. He was huge. Waited until the offseason, transferred in, and boy, he was big here in Oklahoma as well.
How about that run of quarterbacks? Most programs would like to have just one or two of those guys. I mean, those are legendary players.
And you didn't even see in that graphic the other Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Jason White, back in 2003.
Yeah. It was so impressive going over to their locker room and seeing all those Heisman trophies lined up.
Quarterbacks ranked in the top 25 for ESPN. Top 25 players. See some of the quarterbacks ranked. John Mateer, 16th best player in the country at the quarterback spot. Third highest ranked quarterback in that list on ESPN. And here he is to start this drive, hands it off. Not much there for Xavier Robinson.
Been impressed with this defense. Obviously not a lot of help offensively, just 3 points on the board, and they've had to do it the hard way. Gave up a couple big plays, but for the most part, they played really well against extremely talented offense in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, a total of 7 Heisman Trophy winners. The first 3 were running backs. The last 4 have been quarterbacks. Mateer, not so sure that his coaching staff wouldn't prefer to see him just step out of bounds there as opposed to fight for that extra yard.
Yeah, because when you do, especially when you got hustling big guys in white jerseys, they fall on you. And sometimes, as we've seen already, it's not the initial hit that gets guys injured, it's the fall. How about how hard the Redbirds are playing, though? Very impressive. Showing pressure again. Will they bring it this time?
3rd down and 4. Mateer to a wide-open wide receiver, Keontez Lewis. Had a soft spot in the zone, made the catch, and fell down for a first down.
And I don't know why he fell down. Because if he stays up, he's still running. Watch him hook up. That's a blown coverage. If he can somehow keep his feet, he hits his head on the goalpost.
Mateer dumps it across the middle. That's Robinson on the catch. Out to about the 43-yard line. So Billy Vessels was the first Heisman winner. That was in 1952. Then you had Steve Owens in 1969, the great Billy Sims in 1978. But the run on quarterbacks has been impressive. Jason White in 03, Sam Bradford in 08, and then back-to-back in 17 and 18, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. Reese Edwards injured on the play. So John Mateer, a hard worker, but it is a scripted schedule of work. And this is something that started at Washington State. For more on that, Madison Hawks, tell us about this schedule that Mateer is keeping.
Well, John Mateer has complete trust in his offensive coordinator, so much so that Mateer allows Arbuckle to schedule out every minute of his week, down to the time when he can get on social media, when he can eat, if he can nap that day. They even have his bedtime scripted out for him. It's 9:30, and then he has to have lights out off his phone and hopefully asleep by 10:30. You mentioned it. Arbuckle started this with Cam Ward back at Washington State. Ward, of course, going on to be this year's #1 NFL draft pick. But guys, this isn't about micromanaging Mateer. It just gives perspective into how determined and focused Mateer is during the season.
Cam Ward has carried that schedule with him to the NFL. You've heard some of the Tennessee Titans coaches talking about how meticulous he is in terms of time management. 168 hours in a week, and every single one of them is scheduled for John Mateer.
All of them are accounted for. Now, if I can somehow get this to my kids, I mean, but that would be really helpful, right? Time management, man.
They told us phone off at 9:30, asleep by 10:30.
Yeah, good luck with that. When you got teenagers.
Amen. 1st and 10 here for OU. Play action. Matier running out of time, and then he just makes something happen. This is what he does with his feet. Scrambles for a gain of 6.
Well, I thought he was going to get drilled. Goes onto the football a little bit. Now, here comes the free hitter. Man, that's some quickness right there. Does a great job of avoiding and getting down. He slipped a little bit. Make sure you get down, Matier. You don't need to be taking big hits.
6 carries, 27 yards, and a score tonight for Matier. Third down coming up after a short gain there. Grant Steffen on the tackle. Missed last year with a torn pec muscle, which sounds really painful.
It is. I've had one, and it is rough. .6'4", 275 pounds, senior, transfer from Western Illinois.
Large human being. Looking for a stop here on 3rd and 2. OU needs to get the ball across the 43. They'll go to the ground. It's Xavier Robinson, and he is going to be right at the line to gain. It's going to depend on the stop. Dexter Niekamp, the younger brother of Ty Niekamp, the second son on this team that is Travis Niekamp's offspring, on the tackle. 4th down and less than a yard. Dexter Niekamp redshirted a year ago. Talented young player. Matier under center for the first time tonight. 1 hard count. Trying to get the Redbirds to jump. And they run a play.
I think so.
Into the neutral zone, but got him back, and a timeout taken by Oklahoma. Unable to get
charge timeout.
the defense
Oklahoma.
to jump and make
30-second
contact.
timeout.
So we'll see if they go for it here on 4th and 1, or if they decide to punt it away and make Illinois State go the long distance. The SEC Now crew will be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta tomorrow afternoon. They'll get started at 2 Eastern with a 60-minute football pregame show before number 13 at South Carolina, led by Lenore Sellers, takes on Virginia Tech. And don't forget, we will wrap things up tonight after the games with SEC football final. Dari Doring and Benjamin Watson will take you through the entire day on this opening day of Southeastern Conference football play. I would imagine they'll talk a little bit about John Matier.
Played well, as they should.
Dari Noka, an Oklahoma native, and all-around good guy. I don't know how he deals with Doring. Offense back out for the 4th and 1. It's a handoff, and Robinson picks his way through the crowd for a first down for Oklahoma.
I think as Oklahoma goes through this schedule, this is going to be the key. Can they efficiently run the football? They don't need to run it, let's say like Michigan does, with that many attempts. But when they do call it, can they be efficient with it, and can they get physical in short yardage?
We've seen 3 different running backs. Jaden Ott has not played at running back in this game. We've seen him on special teams. A little banged up in camp. The highly thought of transfer from Cal. Completion there to Carson Kent.
And to your point, he hasn't played 1 snap in the SEC, but he was second team all SEC preseason, right? I mean, that's how good he is when he's healthy.
Jaden Ott, the senior from Chino, California. Went to Norco and then Cal. He is on the watch list for the Maxwell and the Doak Walker. Waited. Bishop Gorman.
Vegas powerhouse.
Powerhouse. DeMarco Murray went to school there.
His coach.
Matier, flags come in. Probably a hold.
No doubt.
Matier lets it fly, and that ball is incomplete, but another flag comes in, and
Offset.
so we'll just do it all over again.
That play didn't happen, folks. That was virtual.
You can never make an assumption, and I don't know that, I guess it was the safety there for Illinois State saw it, but he's better off allowing that catch to happen.
How about that? I mean, it's tough. His instincts take over.
There are fouls by each team on the play. Holding, number 70, offense. Pass interference, number 4, defense. Those fouls offset, replay first down.
I can guarantee you, if he just stops and lets that play happen, he'll be trotting off the field because no defense coordinator wants to see that. Here's the hold. That's a tackle, really. Nice job there. Jamarcus Smith getting the pressure, and there's just a little early.
You know, sometimes officials get unfairly chastised. Sometimes it's fairly. They got both of those right. No doubt on either of those. Mateer to the air. Quick hitter to the outside for a first down.
RPO action there. Run pass option. Stick the ball in the belly. If you like the look on the outside, you get the ball out of your hands quickly and accurately. Tough to defend.
Three quarters in the books in Norman, Oklahoma. OU trying to win the season opener. They lead it 21-3 as we head to the fourth. We're back after this. This Oklahoma team will play the most difficult schedule in all of college football this year. 7 teams ranked in the top 25. 3 top 10 opponents this year. And look at that Murderer's Row that starts on October 11th. Number 1, Texas. They'll play that at the Cotton Bowl. They go to South Carolina, host Ole Miss, go to Knoxville, and go to Tuscaloosa.
Woo. Sooner fans got to be like, are you serious after last year's? But here's the difference, though, partner. Last year they had 3 home games in the conference. This year only 3 road games, true road games in conference.
Mateer lets it fly across the middle, caught into the end zone. Keontez Lewis, touchdown Sooners.
Lewis has been around UCLA, Wisconsin, and guess where else? Southern Illinois.
A big season a year ago for Lewis at Southern Illinois. Had 49 catches, 5 touchdowns. That's his first this year for Oklahoma. Mateer with his second touchdown pass of the game, that one from 28 yards. Extra point is good, and it's now 28-3.
The deep dig routes take time, folks, and that's where the offensive line can show their mustard. Getting back, clean pocket, the dig route is there, and the throw is true. Welcome to the game, Keontez Lewis.
This is the SEC on ESPN. A Saturday night in Norman, Oklahoma, the season opener. And the Sooners lead it 28-3 over Illinois State, just underway in the fourth quarter. And it was the first play of the fourth quarter that gave the most recent touchdown to Oklahoma.
After a couple errant throws, he got back to his playmaking ways. Talking about John Mateer, of course. And there's the dig route that looks so pretty because the pocket was clean. It's clear to me that when you give John Mateer time, he's surgical with the football. Can this offensive line continue to gel, mature? Like I said, they broke in some new guys now, some transfers or what have you. Got a really outstanding freshman left tackle who's not playing today. So they've got some dudes. Can they just continue to mature and get the run game going? Because that's what it's going to be about once these opponents get tougher. And guess what? It gets a lot tougher next week.
Keontez Lewis with the touchdown catch at the end of the drive. John Mateer, 21 of 26, 287, a couple of scores, one interception, and one touchdown rushing. Into the end zone, Illinois State will start at their own 25-yard line. Michigan comes to town next week. They're kind of a strange spot on the schedule. Oklahoma goes to Philadelphia, a road game against Temple. And back home for the Auburn Tigers on the 20th of September. Brent Venables, he was excited coming into this year. Changes on his staff. Ben Arbuckle, chief among them, coming in and taking over this offense. The recruitment of Ben Arbuckle actually happened before the recruitment of John Mateer. Now, I'm not saying it didn't play a role. It certainly did. First contact with Arbuckle happened in October, and then as the season developed, it became pretty clear that that's the direction that Brent Venables wanted to go on the offensive side of the ball. What a hit by Reggie Powers III.
This is what zone coverage affords you. You get in your drop, you see the ball being thrown, and you're coming with heat. That is a beautiful tackle. Got his head out of it, all shoulder, ran his feet on contact. That's a coaching clinic on how to tackle in the open field. But back to your point, though, you're living right when you go hunting for an offensive coordinator and you come up with a superstar quarterback to boot, right?
No question. Faked it to right, the pass incomplete. We have not seen Tommy Rittenhouse since what appeared to be a shoulder injury. Madison told us earlier when he came out of the tent, threw the football a few times, gave the thumbs up signal to his coaches, but there was healthy perspective from this Illinois State coaching staff coming into this ballgame. They recognize that from a talent standpoint, they're nowhere close to Oklahoma. Said they wanted to see disciplined football, wanted to see their team play hard. But if you look at this Illinois State team and kind of the way that they've carried themselves, the way they've played in this game, it's going to be a good team in the FCS this year.
And I guarantee you when Missouri Valley foes watch this tape, they're going to be impressed. I mean, you've seen, and we've done games where the FCS team literally falls apart. That's not happening right now. And the way you talked about the things they were looking for, they wanted to play Illinois State football, their brand. Smart, tough, don't beat yourself, and they've done that for the most part.
You want to know about the Missouri Valley? Look at that note at the top of the graphic. 14 straight championship game appearances from various teams from the Missouri Valley Conference. Now, a lot of those, North Dakota State, South Dakota State's had a heck of a run. Satania tiptoeing the sideline, turns that into a good return. Will we continue to see John Mateer, or might it be time for Michael Hawkins?
I think this should probably be his last series. I'm sure they want to finish this with a score to take him out feeling good about it. But back to Rittenhouse, I'm okay with them not letting him back in the ballgame. Sometimes one of the biggest things a coach can do is protect players from themselves. They know that the number one thing is the Missouri Valley and the FCS playoffs, and so there'll be brighter days ahead for this team in white.
Brock Spack told us, he said, look, he said, we're going to play a lot of second team and third team guys throughout the course of this game tonight. Because if we want to be playing in December and January, we've got to be as healthy as possible when we get there. And Jay nodded to the game.
Yeah, how about that for the first time? But and look how hard they continue to play. You're talking about this Illinois State defense. Ty Niekamp back in the ball game.
Right.
Talked about his toughness and leadership. He says he prides himself on out-preparing everybody. He may not be the biggest, fastest, whatever, but no one's going to be more ready to play on game day.
Mateer lets it fly down the sideline. How about that back shoulder catch? Plus a flag coming in. Keontez Lewis on the reception. Kuba was in his back pocket. And I think interfered on the play. Early in the game, we saw a massive one-handed catch by Deion Burks along the sideline. Now Keontez Lewis has got an impressive contested catch for a gain of 19.
Pass interference, number one defense, Penalties decline. The result of the play is a first down.
Watch this back shoulder execution. This is the toughest thing in football, in my opinion. A well-executed back shoulder where he can come back and, boy, he was wearing the defender. He was tighter than your suit, partner. I'm just telling you right now, he was wearing that defender. But that's how you have to be tough and physical at the catch point.
It's not tight, it's tailored.
Oh.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
That's what you call it, tailored.
Correction, first down.
I'm okay with that. I'll accept that from you.
So an illegal formation for OU cost them 5 yards. You get a look at Ben Arbuckle. Talking about that schedule for Oklahoma, one of 4 teams in the country this year that will play 7 teams ranked in the preseason top 25. The other 3 also in the SEC. Swing pass, that was incomplete, intended for Jade Knott. Be underthrown a little bit. So ESPN's FPI says it's the most difficult schedule. Texas, Alabama, LSU all in the top 10. They've also got games against number 13 South Carolina, number 14 Michigan, number 21 Ole Miss, and number 24 Tennessee.
I push back on that preseason tough stuff. There's someone in the top 10 right now, I guarantee you, who doesn't belong there. We just don't know who it is. So every year is a little bit different.
Probably Alabama, since they got beat by 2 scores today.
There you go.
Chuck Molina smiled when I said that. He's an Auburn man through and through.
But yeah, I just, you know, it's fun for us. It's fun for the fans. But as a player and a coach, you don't get wrapped up into that stuff. Because just as we know Alabama losing early, and we don't know how that season's going to end up, there's somebody that's not in the top 10, 15, or 20 who's going to make a run in whatever conference. Somebody's getting disrespected and won't be come November and December.
Robinson back in at tailback. 3rd and 8. Mateer sidearm delivery. He gets it to Robinson, who sidesteps a man to the 40. He's going to be 2 yards short of the first down. And an injured player, that's Shadwell Nakuba, who is down on the play. And this is the thing that Illinois State wanted to try to avoid, injuries. You've seen Tommy Rittenhouse leave the game. You saw Ty Niekamp leave the game but come back in. And now the starting corner, Nakuba, down and kind of favoring that right arm. With the break on the field, we'll take one as well. 4th and 2 for Oklahoma when we come back.
Quite often you see, you know, again, these FCS teams playing against the so-called big boys. They can't roll guys in and out. As the game continues to go deep into the 4th quarter, people get tired. People begin to lunge and get out of position, good athletic position. And unfortunately, you see this type of stuff and you hate it because you know that Illinois State is going to be heard from down the road, and you want everybody to be healthy once you get to conference play.
There's Tommy Rittenhouse you saw throwing the football on the sideline. I don't know if that's a sign that we're going to see him again or if his night is over. We'll check in with Madison on that in just a moment. 4th down, the offense on the field for Oklahoma. Mateer rolling right, lets it fly, and that ball is incomplete. Nearly intercepted, and then a chance there for Kanik to catch it off the carom. Mateer knows he missed a shot there. 28-3 our score, 10:53 to play. Now we will take a timeout. We're back to Norman with you after this. 1 week from right now, it's a top 25 matchup here in Norman. Number 14, Michigan. Number 18, Oklahoma. And the day gets started with college game day next Saturday morning at 8 o'clock local time, 9 a.m. on the East Coast. And what a Saturday it's going to be. It'll be the second meeting ever between Oklahoma and Michigan. The first one, the Orange Bowl.
Wishbone reverse. Off the option action.
I mean, that's cutting edge play calling.
Back then, yes.
Oklahoma, a win over Michigan in that 1976 Orange Bowl following the 1975 season. After the turnover on downs, it is Illinois State. Seth Glatz getting his first carry of the game. Let's go downstairs and check in with Madison Hawks with more on Tommy Rittenhouse.
Yeah, quarterback Tommy Rittenhouse is out for the rest of the game. He's still been involved, though, down here on the sidelines. He was watching film with backup quarterback Beckham Pellet, walking him through the way different defensive coverages are playing him. Obviously, a huge blow for the Redbirds offense to be without Rittenhouse, but will allow him a little bit more rest before next week.
That's smart to me. You just got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him, right?
Actually a quote that Brock Spack gave us this week talking about his quarterback. He went to the great Kenny Rogers. He gave us a little more than that. He was talking about the style of play for Rittenhouse, not putting his body in danger. And look, the injury tonight had nothing to do with his style of play. It was a big hit. So he said, know when to hold him, know when to fold him, know when to walk away, and know when to run.
That's right.
You know, if you got R. Mason Thomas bearing it, you better run, pal.
And run
it's
fast.
Oklahoma's defense tonight has allowed a grand total of 132 yards. Pellet trying to get away, and he is brought down, a sack by Taylor Wine.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because this offense had gone over 100 yards rushing before that play. They're going to subtract that from the rushing yards. There's a host of guys coming through, and that's a nice job by Taylor Wine getting up to the level of the quarterback. Don't keep running around the quarterback. Come back inside. When the quarterback steps up, you come back inside, and it really becomes an easy way to get sacks if you're smart.
So the punt team onto the field for Illinois State. Isaiah Satania III once again back to return the punt, the transfer from Arkansas. Busy tonight. He's going to calling it for a fair catch. He'll make it at the 25. And that'll take us to a timeout. Oklahoma in front and in control. 28-3 our score.
The College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
Get all of ESPN college football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. Last year, the first year of the expanded college football playoff. A lot of talk about expansion, but no decisions on that made yet. Pass complete to the tight end, Jaron Kanik. 5 catches in the game tonight for Kanik. He is approaching 100 yards receiving.
John Mateer is still in the game, and honestly, I'm not sure why.
Movement up front. Chance for a free play, and it's complete out to the 45, maybe 46-yard line. There's a flag on the far side of the field. Looked like they had Illinois State in the neutral zone.
Offside, number 14, defense. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
John Mateer now over 300 yards passing in the game, couple of touchdowns. "26 completions is a career high for John Mateer. He is 26 of 33 tonight and back to the air. And so now he's got a new career high with 27 completions. Deion Burks on the catch, Travell Mullen on the tackle.
Total command in this offense. And the offensive line now has completely taken over the game. You're not seeing the pocket penetrated. So he's able to sit back, be comfortable. When he's comfortable, the ball is going to be accurate.
OU using a little more time on the clock now. Xavier Robinson on the carry, and he hauls a defender down to the 37. Kaplan and Coleman combining on the tackle for Illinois State.
OU going with 12 personnel, putting 2 tight ends in the game. I really would like to see them establish a smash mouth running game, because it's just going to make this offense a lot tougher to stop. If you can be, again, efficient running the football with how this passing game is designed and with your quarterback being an all-star type player, really, really tough to stop.
Interesting story came out yesterday about Brent Venables, the head coach here at Oklahoma. It's here. Plenty of time, unloads across the middle of the field. That's another catch. Down close to the 20-yard line, Keontez Lewis. Tier wants to go fast. There's a player down on the field for Illinois State.
Another deep dig. Again, you can see how long the route takes. If you give them time, those digs are really tough to defend because the defender's going to be in chase mode. And so that really is just a square in. 15, 20 yards down, square in.
Ben Harmon, the player down for Illinois State. So that story about Brent Venables, he was scheduled, and we know the coaching contracts are massive in the SEC and all over the country, scheduled to make a little over $8.5 million this year. According to Joe Castiglione, longtime athletics director who's retiring before too much longer here at Oklahoma, back in February, Venables initiated a conversation with him, knowing that we were moving toward a revenue-sharing era, saying that he was going to do a one-time salary reduction or give back, if you want to, of $1 million. And that $1 million saved by the Oklahoma Athletics Department in terms of his salary is going toward the revenue sharing pool that athletes across campus will participate in.
Yeah, when you use words like us and we, sometimes as players you wonder how if you mean it. Well, giving up $1 million tells me he means it.
John Mateer trying to get to the outside, and he runs into a couple of white jerseys led by Dexter Niekamp, who played that one perfectly.
This is what you don't want to see, him taking too many hits like this. Again, it's not always the actual collision, it's how you fall. That time he just kind of sat it down, understanding that the play was over, kind of folded up as he should, put his body in good position.
Ty Niekamp told us that, yes, there is a bit of a sibling rivalry between my younger brother Dexter and me, but it's also really cool that we get to play on the same defense at the same time. They did it 1 year in high school. Now they're getting the opportunity in college.
Follow up on Niekamp. He said, to be honest, I asked him, how does his brother compare to where he was at the same time? He says he's ahead of me, but just by a little bit.
Just by a little. 5 minutes to play. Oklahoma on its way to a season opening win.
Good look at Dexter there. Redshirt freshman, 6'3", 245 pounds. Good size, good length.
3rd and 8 from the 20. Matier with time, fires toward the end zone. He's got a wide open receiver. Keontez Lewis with his second touchdown catch of the game. DB fell down on the route, tried to stay in coverage with Lewis. Pitch and catch, Matier and Lewis for the second time tonight. 392 passing yards, a new career high for John Matier. That was his 3rd touchdown toss.
Nothing special about the route, just a go route. Just running down the field and asking your quarterback to throw a catchable ball. Obviously, when the DB falls down, it makes it a lot easier. But watch him let his legs go dead. See, that's smart. Before he fell down in the middle of the field, I didn't like that too much. But when you're in the end zone, let your legs go dead. Don't try to toe tap.
Now 35-3.
The great Henry Ellard taught me that when I was with the Rams. So he tells his receivers, let your legs go dead in the back of the end zone or on the sidelines, because more often than not, they'll go straight down and land inside the field of play.
Would think that the night is probably over for John Matier, but we'll see. 30 of 37, 392, 3 scores, had 1 on the ground as well. When Brent Venables and this Oklahoma staff go back and they watch the tape of this game and they're evaluating, what are they going to see?
Well, I think they're going to be happy with Matier. I think they're going to be happy with the pass blocking of the offensive line, and they've got dynamic receivers who can go. I think one of the things they're not going to be completely happy with is the run game. I think they could be more efficient. You would think that they would be able to sort of run the ball down the throat of this Illinois State defense, and that hasn't happened. And so I keep harping on it. They're going to have to be balanced next week. They're not going to just be able to drop back and throw the football against a Michigan defense who's as talented and disciplined as they are. You got to be able to do both.
100 yards rushing tonight for Oklahoma.
I think the same can be said defensively. I think they could be better defensively against the run.
Lawson back. He's going to call for a fair catch once again with 4:33 to play.
But Matier is as advertised. Yep. He is what I saw on tape. Obviously, the opponent is not quite up there, but he's looked really good.
John Matier tonight in pictures, moving pictures. It started with that great catch from Deion Burks. We saw Matier make plays with his legs. We saw him make throws on the run. And this second half, he's been able to stay in the pocket a lot. He had the scoring touchdown when he slipped inside the pylon.
What do I call him, partner? Triple threat.
Triple threat, I believe.
Right, yeah.
One area that I would think that Oklahoma's coaches are going to be proud is with the performance of the defense tonight. Brent Venables told us, he said, from our very first recruiting class, we've got 6 to 7 guys that are still part of this defense. And having that core, that veteran core, he thinks gives them a huge advantage this year.
No question about it. And they're deep up front, and that's where it starts. This is a very fun defense to play in if you're a defensive lineman, because they're not going to ask you to stay on blocks and hunker down and let linebackers make plays. No. Everybody has the opportunity to make plays when the ball snaps.
Nice run that time Amarian Robinson on the tackle and Seth Glatz.
And I just think he's going to find some good coaching tape, cut-ups we call them, of some runs that you would think should not be happening. And so, is it a fit problem? Is it, I doubt it, but is it a getting blocked and can't get off problem? My guess is it's a fit problem with some of these gashing run plays. And they're going to have to get it cleaned up really quickly because the Wolverines will come in and run it until you stop it.
110 yards rushing tonight for Illinois State. It's Glatz again, and he ran into a red wall there, a crimson wall. Flip side of that is, though, only 34 yards allowed through the air.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, really. Against an outstanding FCS quarterback, Tommy Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse's night was cut short. Around the SEC, you got LSU on the road tonight against Clemson. That's a 3-3 ball game, about halfway through the second quarter.
We haven't called the name of Daniel Sopkowitz a lot. He's been locked up. He's an All-American FCS player, and he'll have better days. But the pass defense, as you mentioned, has been outstanding.
A couple of drops, uncharacteristic early in this game for Sopkowitz. He was one of the guys that a lot of teams came after, and there was significant money on the table that he turned down to stay at Illinois State, play one more year for Brock Spack in this Redbirds ball club.
They said he was offered north of $1 million to hop in the portal. Now, I mean, listen, I don't count people's pockets, but, I mean, that's a tough deal. And they said they did as much as they could for him, but it was something about him staying with his friends.
Timeout.
2-minute timeout, 35-3, OU in front. Park outside Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. 7 Heisman Trophy winners. This campus will be buzzing a week from today. It all starts with College Game Day next Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Eastern, live from right here in Norman, Oklahoma. And then there's the game that night as well. The Big Ten and the SEC, Michigan and OU for just the second time ever. That is next Saturday night. 35-3 our score. 2 minutes to play. 3rd and 5 here for Illinois State. Pellin replaced Rittenhouse after the injury earlier in this ball game. On the ground, Glatz going to pick his way to the 45. Short of the first down will bring up 4th and 3. I would assume that the offense would stay on the field here.
Thinking about it. Looks like they're staying.
It'll be just over a minute left when this ball is snapped. 4th and 3 for Illinois State. Unless Brock Spack chooses to take a timeout. He's standing on the sideline with an official right next to him. I'm not being trite when I say this.
First charge timeout, Illinois State. 30-second timeout.
It appears that Illinois State has a weapon in their punter in Hayden Futch. He has been really good tonight.
I agree. 100%. Well over 40 yards per average. I got to find out exactly what it is. But no, he's done a tremendous job of flipping the field.
He has averaged 43.
There you go.
As long as 50. 3 of his 8 punts have been down inside the 20-yard line. And 2 of them inside the 5.
Yeah. So there have been multiple phases where they've at least been even with Oklahoma. And I'm just telling you, that bodes well for these guys and the rest of their schedule.
So after the timeout, Futch will come on to punt one more time. Isaiah Satania III. Catch a punt for the 9th time tonight. It's a driving spiral. Satania calling for a fair catch. How about a 4th punt inside the 20 and a 3rd inside the 5?
Wow. It's terrific. First game, too. Now, think about that. Special teams is usually one of those phases where you can see bonehead plays and screw-ups. Oh, no, not for the Redbirds. It's outstanding.
And it may take the opportunity for Oklahoma, should they want it, to just kneel down away, because the ball's at the 2-yard line. You have to hand it off and try and give yourself a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah.
John Mateer going to go the distance in this season opener. 65 seconds remaining on the clock. Sold out crowd tonight, the 160th consecutive sold out. And some scattered empty seats throughout the course of the ball game. Xavier Robinson is in. Mateer from the shotgun. Robinson picks his way out to the 4 for a gain of a couple.
They'll have to run one more play. This could be a kneel down here if they wanted to.
In year 1 of Brent Venables at Oklahoma, there were 63 new players on the team. That number has gone down in each of his successive seasons. Obviously going to have a lot of new players in a transfer portal era. More continuity. They told us they were optimistic, excited about this year and about this team. Oklahoma starts it off on a good note with a 35-3 win. The debut of John Mateer, 30 of 37, 392 yards and 3 touchdowns. As the clock goes to 0 here in Norman, it is a 1-0 start to the year for the Sooners.
That's how you introduce yourself to Sooner Nation. That's how you come out of the gates, let them know, making a statement, I'm here and I'm going to help this team win.
Keontae Lewis had a big night. 9 catches, 119 yards, couple of touchdowns. Deion Burks had 7 for 88 and a score. Jaron Canick in his debut at the tight end position, 5 catches for 90 yards. Let's talk with Brent Venables, Madison Hawk, on the field with the head coach of the Sooners.
Coach, you're back calling the defense, and your defense didn't allow a touchdown. What did you make of the way they played in this game?
Yeah, for the most part, we got into a really good rhythm. A little soft on the interior of our defense and some of the run game, but we played with a light box. I thought the guys really came out the second half and responded, played in a really consistent way.
And John Mateer showed once again just how much of a dual-threat quarterback he is. What did you make of his play in week 1?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that was really good, a lot to build from, and kept things pretty vanilla here tonight. And, again, you win 35-3. That's a pretty good night.
Yeah, but despite the score, you kept him in the whole game. What were you watching for?
Well, just trying to stay in good rhythm on offense.
Next up, you welcome 14th ranked Michigan to right here on this field. Where does the preparation begin for the Wolverines?
Yeah, I mean, it begins on Monday. You know, it's going to be a physical football game, and they're a great program. It was 2 years ago, won the national championship. So we're going to have to play well, have a great week of practice.
Coach, congrats on the win. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Richard.
Thank you, Madison. Brent Venables, pleased with his team tonight. One of the things that you talked about, said a little soft on the interior, but also admitted a little vanilla with the defense.
All the excellent coaches will find a way to coach him up. He's got enough material to get these guys' attention and have them ready to play against the Wolverines.
We'll let the pride of Oklahoma take us home on this Saturday night. It's a good start to the year for the Sooners. A 35-3 win in the debut of John Mateer. For our entire ESPN crew, thanks for joining us on this opening Saturday of the college football season. My partner Tyoka Jackson and Madison Hawk, I'm Richard Cross. Good night from Norman. That's okay. Halftime in Norman here between Oklahoma and Illinois State, where the score is 21-0. We've got more coming up after these messages.